Perfect. I think we'll get started now. Thank you for joining Ground Truth's Creative Best Practices webinar. My name is Casey Kole, and I'm a platform specialist here at Ground Truth. I've been here for about a year and a half. So I work with a variety of resellers, SMBs, and mid-market clients on how to best utilize our platform and technology. So I'm going to talk a little bit today about some of our creative best practices to help with optimizing your campaigns. So a few housekeeping items to start. All participants are muted. So if you have any questions, please submit them through the Q&A button on your Zoom, and I'll be sure to address them at the end of the session. And additionally, you should see a polling button on Zoom. If you wouldn't mind filling out a quick poll at the end of the webinar, that will help us understand what was the best for you and how we can always improve moving forward. And then, as always, any follow-up questions, please reach out to us at selfservehelp@groundtruth.com or to your assigned account executive. The agenda for today I'll go over quickly. We'll start by talking about creative best practices as provided by our internal creative team here at Ground Truth. And then we'll go through the creative feature, our Ground Truth landing page. And then we'll hop into Ads Manager and talk about how to set up the creatives within Ads Manager and a new creative feature which we recently launched, which is the creative repository. And then at the end, we'll leave time for questions. So how can we create better mobile ads? For years now, consumers' reliance on mobile devices has been steadily increasing. And in 2020, especially with mobile devices serving as a lifeline to the outside world amid COVID breakout, eMarketer has said that US adults will spend an extra 24 minutes per day on their mobile devices as a result of the pandemic. So it's more important than ever to best optimize to reach your consumers on their mobile devices. So given this information, we'll talk a little bit about how ensuring that your creative feels cohesive and follows best practices can contribute to the success of your mobile campaigns. I just wanted to give a quick slide as an overview of what type of creative we run. The majority of our inventory currently is mobile in-app. So on the right-hand side, you'll see 3 of the popular ad sizes that runs within the mobile environment and what those would look like within an app. And then the types of banners we run are static banners and then rich media and video pre-roll banners via a script tag and a VAS tag. So through this webinar, we'll talk about some of the creative benefits of mobile advertising on how you can maximize your campaign reach, increase awareness, and drive visits. So the first topic that we're going to talk about is including images in your mobile banners. Studies show that it only takes 13 milliseconds for your brain to process an image, which is 60,000 times faster than text. And 80% of people remember what they see compared to only 20% of what they read. Given that, mobile ads should be treated distinctly from other devices in order to maximize performance of your campaigns. You want to ensure that your ad creative is easily digestible so that your value can be expressed without a big investment in the consumer's time. The right creative image can be the difference between an ad that's overlooked and one that results in a store visit. So choosing the visual, of course, depends on the nature of your product and campaign objective, which we'll look at an example here on the right. This KFC campaign, you'll see that they're promoting their new Cheetos sandwich, and they've included the KFC mascot. So right away, in a short scroll through, someone will know exactly what this product is promoting and where they can get it, which is really important. And the same on the right with the Honda RV, the car is front and center, and their target demographic is also included. So someone may stop and say that this creative would be valuable for them. Our creative team has also seen that banners with product images can improve CTR by 21% and visitation rate by 46%. One thing to note is I'll give stats for all of the things that we go through. However, they're not guaranteed. This is what we've seen based on historical performance, but I always think it's important to A/B test your creative and see what resonates with your audience in any given campaign. Generally speaking, if your ad takes more than 3 seconds to understand, then you've completely lost your consumer. So GIFs are a great way to appeal to the short attention spans of users with thoughtful, engaging, and powerful images. Because of this, mobile ads are often simple in nature, but that doesn't mean that they have to be boring, and a simple animation can help your ad stand out. If you see here on the right, and it looks like one of my GIFs isn't working, but the sandal GIF, you'll see that you know exactly what they're promoting. It's a shoe store, and you'll see a variety of different styles within a very quick time span, which is also a great way to grab a user's attention when they're reading through a lot of text on an app. And our creative team has seen that adding a subtle GIF can improve your click-through performance by 25% and even visitation rate by 2x. So I always recommend this as an option for clients who are looking to run banner creatives. Including copy. This is super important. We all know that mobile ad design best practices aren't limited to the visual side of creatives. So the copy you write warrants careful analysis as well, because there's a few things to take into consideration. How can I drive consumers down the funnel with the least amount of words as possible? So something that I talk to my clients about is the fact that nothing says, I need this right now, quite like a sense of urgency. And that's what I think clients should convey in their mobile creatives. So you'll want your audience to take immediate action for fear of missing out on something great, like a steep discount, a new store opening, limited edition products. And if you see here on the right, for this Amazon Go, hello, Essa Bagel, goodbye lines. This is a great way to say that there's probably a lot of lines at grocery stores. They know their consumers love Essa Bagel. So in a short and sweet way, they know exactly that they can find that there and not have to wait in line, and they want to be there right now. Another thing that I want to talk about with copy is call to actions. We know the value of a strong CTA, yet not all mobile ads include this key component, and it plays a huge role in driving traffic to your site and generating conversions. So what CTA is the best one for you? Well, you need to think about your intended goal, whether that be watching a movie, learning more, visiting store, purchasing online. Keeping that at the forefront when putting together your CTA is really important, because you always need to remind users to take an action, or else your product may be overlooked. And the point of a CTA is to be clear about what the consumer should do and highlight it boldly within the ad. So you'll see here on the right that Find Store is easy to find and within the same color sticking out from the background, so it can't be missed by the user. Additionally, being succinct is really important, and our creative team has seen that banners with less than 5 words can improve CTR by 17% and visitation rate by 31%. So if you see the ad on the right here, Gorilla Tape, product image, 2 words, you know exactly what they're promoting, and someone might want to click on that to learn more about how they can get that at Lowe's. Another product which is super awesome is our dynamic distance overlay. So this is actually a feature which you layer on to your creative assets within our ads manager setup. And we'll go through this later on in the webinar, so I definitely wanted to discuss it. The dynamic distance overlay is populated text on the ad that indicates how far the current user is from your business location. One of mobile ads' biggest advantages is its ability to reach consumers while they're out in the physical world and leverage this for marketing purposes. So this makes perfect sense when you consider the convenience of this feature. You can advertise to users who might be down the block from your store that offers products that are relevant to their wants and needs, and allow them to know how far they are away so that they can make a visit without disrupting their day. And providing them directions just makes it easier for them to actually take an action and step foot in stores. So one of the great things about this overlay is it can be use different fonts, and it's can be created seamlessly by combining the distance overlay with your branded copy, so that way it fits in with your overall brand packaging. And our team has seen that including a dynamic distance overlay can increase visitation by up to 70%, which is pretty incredible. So I recommend that any clients who are using visitation as their main KPI to include the distance overlay, because it really reminds users that their next move is just a step away. Ground Truth's landing page. So what is our landing page? Our landing page is a mobile site that the user will view after clicking on the creative. So if you are using static banners, the landing page will direct from there after they click on the banner. And it's a great option if you don't have a mobile optimized click-through URL, and providing exactly all of the information that your client needs in a really succinct way. So if you don't have an existing mobile web page, our landing page comes in a very simple to use template, which we'll go through in a few minutes as well, and replaces the click-through URL with this landing page builder that allows for populating different features within our template. And a few of the benefits of utilizing our landing page is that it prompts user engagement with an easy to navigate mobile experience. If a user is clicking on a URL that directs to your overall site, there's probably a lot of information in there. And if what they really need is directions to get to your store, they're going to have to scroll through probably to the bottom, and it may be a little bit difficult for them to find, which will in turn provide drop off. However, with this landing page, the directions are at the forefront, right in their face. They don't have to look for it. You can also provide additional advertising promoting whatever product you're using, such as this new Columbia down jacket. So you can also click on directions, which will open up a map functionality and help users direct to the store. And lastly, we provide secondary actions. So any click on this directions button, the ads within the landing page are all considered a secondary action. And we find this to be more telling of engagement than banner clicks, because someone might click on an ad, but if we know that they clicked on the ad and they specifically wanted directions, or they specifically went to your Shop Now website, it allows us to take a deeper dive and analysis into what's really resonating with your consumer. And then we can utilize those learnings to help optimize for future campaigns based on what we have seen be successful and not successful. So I just wanted to go over some of the landing page functionalities and touch points that we provide. So this is a template here, but you would be prompted with a branded area in which you can put sequential messaging from what your original advertisement is, the dynamically populated business and directions. One thing that's interesting is with the address and directions is if you're driving to multiple locations within your campaign, it will automatically populate whichever location is closest to the user at that time, and really help continue to drive them down the funnel based on the closest proximity. We also dynamically populate the click to call button based off the phone number, which is associated with the address in your campaign. And the third is an additional button, which is click to website, and this can be customized based on your specific needs. So if you are an insurance company and you're promoting a mortgage, this could say, click to learn more about mortgages, and bring you directly to that mortgage page within your campaign versus all of the products that you offer in your umbrella. So it takes away a lot of the action and touch points that a consumer would have to go through to get there. And the other two populated areas would be a coupon area if you're providing some sort of shopping coupon or discount, which could also just be a footer image, and the ability to populate a video from YouTube, such as an ad campaign that you're currently running, to continue to engage their consumers and encourage them to learn more. And this last slide here is just a sum up of why it's important to have engaging creatives. It's probably obvious, but creatives are the crucial instance of success to your campaign. So developing unique touch points and images is key to your user's action. So having the original ad have a strong call to action, such as find a store where you can get this 7-Eleven coffee, and then continuing to promote that through the landing page with buy a large coffee, get a Kit Kat for $1, promotion, directions to that specific 7-Eleven closest to them, and continuing to advertise to them. Having a customized CTA is really important, and we always recommend that you use all of the options available in order to have the most success within your campaign. So now we're going to hop on over to Ads Manager and go through how you would actually upload these creatives within the dashboard and go through some of the different types of creative processes there. So I have created a campaign for this. Hold on. Perfect. So we'll open up my creative webinar campaign. And here's where you would enter all of your targeting tactics. And then you would go to the add creative section here, whereas you would upload all of your creatives. I've put a few in here as a demo. However, we'll go through the process as well. So you would click add new creative. And as I mentioned, we have the option up here to have static images or GIFs, script tags such as rich media creative and video, but I'll focus mainly on image, as this is where you can build a landing page and use our dynamic distance overlay, so we can get a little creative with it. You'll see here in these sizes that these are the main sizes that we recommend. 320 by 50 and 300 by 250 make up 80% of overall mobile ad space, so I always recommend including those, but as many sizes as possible would help best set you up for success. So you would just select from storage and click on a creative here. So I will upload a creative 320 by 50 as an example. And if you have any external tracking pixels or are just using a regular click-through URL, it would be as simple as typing in the click-through URL and clicking save. And you can click new creative and add as many creatives as you would like to run for this specific ad group. But you do also have the option to add a landing page. So if you click on create landing page, this is where the template for the landing page that we discussed would populate. So you would drag and drop the header image, the directions which you entered in the location group and are using as the drive to would populate here, as well as click to call CTA, and then you can add a sample coupon or video as well. The great thing is you can always change the colors of the buttons, so that way it's cohesive with your company branding and specific product messaging. And if you don't want to have anything, such as you want to remove the coupon because you don't need it, you can always do that. You can remove the video as well by just removing that here. You can customize this CTA button. So if you wanted to say shop now, you can always type that in and then click the customized click-through URL for that specific button. So there's really a lot you can do here in terms of creatives, coloring. We do also offer 2 other landing pages. So the super landing page is very similar in terms of the fact that it provides directions, but it's set up a little bit differently. And we also have an image landing page. So if you already have the background image that you want to use with your specific click to call or CTAs on it, you could just upload one large image and you would drag and drop the click through to hover over the button, which is already embedded in that unique image. So I did create an example because I wanted to show you something that was a little bit prettier. So here is a NARS ad, and then if you scroll down, this is just a simple mock-up that I did for the NARS Orgasm Blush. Their creative buttons, I made it the same, as well as added in a YouTube video, which has a beauty tutorial on how to use that. So this is a great way for if someone is interested in your product, they click on it, they know exactly what they're looking for, and they can get directions to go to the nearest NARS and purchase that as soon as possible. And the next thing I wanted to discuss was we talked about the dynamic distance overlay. So I wanted to show you how we would go about embedding that. And here you would click Add Text Overlay, and this is where it would open up your little toolbox. And you would choose Add Macros based on what dynamic distance you wanted to include. So let's include business location name, distance, and distance unit. So you'll see here that this has populated on the side, and as a demo, we are 2.3 miles from Bob's Burgers. This will obviously give the location of your specific client location and how far they are. But you can always change the colors of it if you wanted it to be blue, depending on what your ad creative looks like. You can change the text size. So if we wanted it to be bigger, and you can always play around with this a little bit, but it's super easy to add. It just is a dynamic overlay on top of your original creative, and it's very helpful in ensuring that people visit your stores. So I always recommend it. Perfect. And then the last 2 things that I wanted to talk about were the ability to add script and video creatives. So we can host regular static banners and GIFs directly within the platform, but for any rich media banners or video pre-roll, we do require a script or a video tag. And basically this is just, for those of you who don't know, a string of code which then defines the ad placement and sends a message with a request to the demand partners to serve that specific ad on their app at a given time. And so if you are using a script tag, you would just copy and paste that here, make sure that the size is correct. And the same with video. They're much more simple than the static creative. But if you don't have a current partner and you are looking to run that, please reach out to either self-serve help or your AE, and we're happy to pass along a list of our verified third-party partners, which can help you with hosting these. Perfect. So that is the main ad creative setup. And the next thing I wanted to talk about was the creative repository, which is a new feature that we recently launched. And the purpose of this feature is to improve the ease of use of setting up ad groups and being able to launch campaigns faster. If you are a larger reseller tenant or you're running many campaigns, it can be very tedious to go into every ad group in every campaign and upload an image individually. So the point of the creative repository is to be able to upload all of your creative assets within the overall tenant, and then just assign those specific creatives to ad groups in one fell swoop. So it's supposed to save a lot of time. But you would choose the organization, the account that you want to add it to, and then you would click up here and click add creative assets. And then you could select which ones of those you wanted to drag and drop from your files. The great thing about this is you can upload multiple files at the same time instead of uploading them individually. So you'll see that these 3 were accepted. You click submit, and then you'll see this already exists in my creative repository down here, but the other 2 are new. So those uploaded. So now you'll see all of the images that I have in my creative repository. And if you want to then port all 6 images to one ad group, you would just click on the different images, choose add to ad group, and then you could search the name of the ad group which you would like to add it to. So I'll add it to my creative webinars ad group, and it'll show me that 2 assets have been completed. So the only guardrail with this is that it doesn't carry over click-through URLs. So you would then have to go into the ad group and add that. You'll see here that you will be prompted with a little blue box that says, please fill in the data, in which case you would just go in here and copy and paste the proper click-through URL for each of these creatives. That is something that our clients are looking for. So this is just version 1, and it's actually enabled on the tenant level. So if you don't have access to it and you're looking for access, please reach out to your AE or PS, and we can absolutely provide this for you. And additionally, it's currently only available for image creatives. So we're hoping to expand to script and maybe VAS tags as we roll out V2 and V3. But for right now, we're starting this. We've received a lot of feedback and it's been performing pretty well. So those are the few guardrails for that. One other thing that I did want to mention is sometimes it takes some time to create the landing page. So what I would recommend is once you have created one landing page, I would actually just duplicate using this button here, the creative, so that way it duplicates the landing page, and then just swapping out the actual creative asset size here, as you'll still have the exact formatting landing page at the bottom. Perfect. Okay, well, I think that is all from me. So I will open it up to Q&A now. Brady Rains said, how do we build these static and dynamic creatives? So for the static creatives, you would build them on your own and provide them to ground truth when you're actually going to set a campaign live. I would recommend either using an online ad builder or working with a creative team, but we don't build the static creatives for you. You would build those and provide to us. As for the dynamic creatives, I think I covered the dynamic distance overlay, in which you would actually layer that onto your static creatives. And then another question from Brady, which is, how did you use to build the GIF images creative? I have contacted multiple platforms on the third-party list, and I still haven't found a vendor for an affordable price. This GIF, the GIF that I provided in my deck was actually given to me by a client, which ran on our platform. But I'm happy to look into it and talk to our team and see if we have any recommended creative vendors that can make this easier for you. And then Westrob said, will this presentation be available to download once it's done? Absolutely. We'll be sending out a link for the video, and it will be available as a reference when creating creatives moving forward. So I'm glad that you found it helpful. And then Lori Laughlin, is a landing page included in the ground truth ad cost or is it extra? That is an awesome question. The ground truth landing page is included in your CPM, so there's no additional cost to utilize our landing page, which is great. And one of the reasons why I recommend that any clients who are interested in it definitely take advantage of it. One more question from Nitu. Hi, can a client create this by themselves? Does ground truth provide suggestions so that it becomes more effective and benefits clients? Yes, you do create the actual creative assets on your own. However, you can do A/B testing, so you can run targeting tactics with different creatives. And then through our reporting, you can see which creatives performed the best, whether it's a different call to action, a different image. And so your platform specialist can help you understand those reports and then provide suggestions on how we can utilize the best creative based on historical engagement from past campaigns. Steve Thompson asked, do you charge for creatives? We don't charge for creatives, but we actually don't create the creative banner assets for you. You would provide us with the banners and we would run them. We have a $3.50 CPM on the self-serve platform. However, the dynamic distance overlay and the location landing page are free of charge if you would like to utilize those. And then Denise Kelly asked, can we get this recording? Absolutely. I mentioned before, you'll be getting an email with the recording coming out as soon as this is done. So stay tuned for that. And I think that is all of the questions so far. If anyone else has any more questions, feel free to write in the chat and I'll wait a few minutes. It looks like we received one more question, which is, if you're using, they said if you're using static creative, what if you're using a GIF? So a GIF can be hosted directly within the platform and would be uploaded in the same format that you would upload a static creative. So you can drag and drop it into the box or upload it from your files and we can host that directly and you can see how the GIF goes live. Perfect. Well, I don't think we have any more questions, but if we do, please reach out to us at selfservehelp@groundtruth.com and someone, oh, one more question. Are there specific file types that work better for static creatives? We do have sizes that were recommended. As I mentioned, the 320 by 50, 300 by 250, and 320 by 480 are the most standard sizes. We do have ad spec guidelines, which I'm happy to provide to anyone after the demo, which goes through sizing, file weight, pixels, and any guardrails with uploading creative onto the Ads Manager platform. So I can send through that PDF after we're complete. Perfect. I think that is all the questions. Again, thank you so much for joining today. I hope this was helpful. And if anything else comes up, please reach out to us as we are happy to help.